Joe Torre and the New York Yankees are making history. No team has ever been on a winning pace like the Yankees. Truly a dream season. The Texas Rangers are in a dogfight out west, led by RBI machine Juan Gonzalez, MVP candidate Pudge Rodriguez, and recently acquired third baseman Todd Zeile. This could be a preview of an October playoff showdown. The Rangers and Yankees are next on Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net. And this is Central Park in Manhattan, but not far away. In the Bronx, Yankees Stadium, the scene of the start of a 4-game series between the Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees, two teams that lead their respective divisions. And the Yankees have lost only 8 games in the house that Ruth built this year. Hello again, everyone. Dick Stockton along with Jeff Torborg. And what a resounding year. We may never see another one like the Yankees are putting on, but the Texas Rangers are in a dogfight themselves.
Boy, are they ever. They have to win their division. The Red Sox are having such an outstanding year that the wild card might be out of reach. So Texas has got to fight the Angels down to the end and win the thing.
And the Rangers are very pleased to have back in their lineup Juan Gonzalez, who has been out the last 3 games with a strained neck.
Well, they've really missed this guy. This is the big power in the middle lineup, the big producer, leads the major leagues with so many RBIs. He makes things happen. He makes their club look entirely different when he's in there.
You know, Jeff, it is mind-boggling that the Yankees are 58 games over 500 here at practically mid-August, but there are other records that they're shooting for as well.
Well, it seems like every time we come to Yankee Stadium, they're looking for another record. You know, they're on a pace right now with consecutive games with home runs. There's still a long way to go, but I wouldn't put anything past them. They've got 8 players with 10-plus home runs. Chad Curtis is only 1 away from that, so these guys just keep right on going.
And we've got an interesting pitching matchup, our Gillette matchup tonight. One of the top winners in the American League, Rick Helling, with 15 wins, and El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, the Cuban right-hander, on the mound for the Yankees.
Well, these two guys have really made impact this year with their teams. Helling has really made it big. He's a power pitcher. Hernandez, on the other hand, is a rookie in the major leagues, but he really knows how to pitch.
All right, we've got stars galore in this game as the Rangers go against the New York Yankees. Juan Gonzalez, who's chasing the all-time RBI leadership, Hack Wilson. And Derek Jeter, very steady shortstop. Remember, these two teams could very well meet in the first round of the playoffs. Coming up, Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net.
Doesn't you?
One team, one company, one local to global connection. And here at Yankee Stadium on an overcast evening but pleasant temperature-wise, the Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees get set to battle on Fox Sports Net. And here are our Toyota starting lineups. First for the Texas Rangers, leading off in center field, Tom Goodwin. Mark McLemore will be at second base, followed by Rusty Greer in left field. Juan Gonzalez, the DH, back in the lineup after missing the last 3. Will Clark having a fine year is at first base. Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. Todd Zeile at third. Mike Sims will be the right fielder, and Royce Clayton batting ninth at shortstop. And on the mound tonight, El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, and another great addition to what has been an outstanding starting staff, Jeff.
Boy, Dick, this guy can really pitch. I've watched him pitch a number of games. His numbers are terrific. He's got a great delivery, and he's a great athlete. This guy has really been an asset to this Yankee ball club.
And here is the Yankee defense behind them, particularly Paul O'Neill in right field. There they are.
This is a good defensive team. They're ranked 4th in the American League, and they're getting even better. The middle of any team's strength has to be the middle of the infield, and Jeter and Knobloch are excellent. Bernie Williams in center field is as good as that comes, especially playing this big center field here at Yankee Stadium. Tino Martinez has become an outstanding first baseman. This is a good ball club.
And there is O'Neill in right field, and the amazing thing is that Raines and Strawberry have had to play position spots, and they have done pretty well as the Yankees have not beaten themselves. And let's take a closer look at Orlando Hernandez.
This guy pitches off his breaking stuff, Dick. You don't see too many guys do that. He's a veteran of international baseball. He's got a good fastball, 2 of them in fact, a cross-seamer and a 4-seamer. When he rides up in the zone, he has a good changeup. He throws so many darn arm angles, you don't know where he's coming from. With a high leg kick, makes him even more deceptive.
And the first pitch of the game is a fastball for a strike. Tom Goodwin, who's hitting .293 with 17 runs batted in, tied for 6th in the American League with 31 stolen bases, so a threat if he should get on as he fouls it back. And El Duque quickly ahead of the Rangers leadoff hitter 0-2.
Well, when you look at El Duque, there's a debate on how old he is. Some say he's 32 from a bubblegum card he had when he was in the Cuban national team.
There's the breaking pitch, and he's listed at 28. And since when do bubblegum cards become the more accurate of the records?
I don't know. That came first, though. That was from a couple years ago.
Good point by you. There he is, making his 13th major league start and his first against the Texas Rangers. And again, he misses with the breaking ball, and the count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There is Johnny Oates, the manager of the Rangers, who currently lead the Anaheim Angels by a half a game in the West. And there's a looper back to the mound, caught by Hernandez for the first out of the game. And Jeff's so right when he talks about the urgency of the Texas Rangers. If they win the West, they're in the playoffs. If they lose, they probably don't make postseason.
That's an amazing stat when you think about it. But the Red Sox, and of course they're the ones that have to be wondering what's going on with the 2nd best record in the American League and find themselves so far behind the Yankees they can barely see them at 18.5 games behind.
Here a switch hitting second baseman Mark McLemore, who has struggled as of late at the plate. And there is the first pitch outside, ball 1. And of course, as a Cuban right-hander, you wonder whether El Duque learned something from El Tiante, who not only pitched for the Indians, Yankees, and Red Sox, but also was known for the delivery from countless places.
Yes. Boy, what a good guy to learn from if you could have that kind of stuff. This kid, having watched El Duque pitch, really has a nice delivery. He really gets set over the mound. And he has this high leg kick, and you can see when he kicks his left leg up under him, it gets him balanced. He comes up with that left leg up into this position like this. Once he gets up, now he can head to the plate. Now see, he's balanced and he can go this way. He's not going too soon. And it really is a deceptive delivery.
3-0 pitch was over for a strike. Now coming back 3-1 and a fastball, and that was a good hitter's pitch right there. McLemore fouls it away, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yankee pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre reunited with his son Todd Stottlemyre, a recent pickup by the Rangers, who strengthened the left side of their infield and their pitching by getting Todd Stottlemyre from the Cardinals. Fastball on the outside corner, and McLemore goes down. 2 away.
Well, Mark McLemore has been struggling lately. After he played in artificial turf, it hurt his legs a little bit, but this is a nasty pitch that's scooting away on the outside part of the plate, and you can see McLemore looking for it, doesn't think he can reach it, and probably could not, but this was a low arm angle delivery that kept going away from him.
Here's Rusty Greer with 2 outs, then he takes a call strike. So McLemore, who is ahead 3-0 on the count, punched out by El Duque, and that was his 80th strikeout of the year. That pitch rides outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Rangers left fielder, hitting .296 with 74 runs batted in. Infield playing around to the left for the left-handed hitter, and he golfs a fastball out of play, so the count 1-2.
I think that was a good call. That was that fastball that he goes with 2 seams and he makes it sink. He can also grab the ball across the seams and ride it up in the strike zone. And you never know what arm angle he's coming from. Sidearm, overhand, 3/4.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. And the count even 2-2. The Rangers 1-3 against the Yankees this season. Lost to the Yankees twice in Arlington early in May, and then they split 2 in mid-May here at Yankee Stadium. And the count is full to Greer. 3-2 on deck. Juan Gonzalez. So if Greer can get aboard, we'll see the Major League's RBI king with 119 get a shot here in the first. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that might have been ball 4, but Greer fouls it off into the Yankee dugout.
Like you just made the point about the man is on deck, and as a catcher and a pitcher, you look to see who's on deck. You know who's standing there. Obviously, everybody in the ballpark knows who's standing there. You would rather get the hitter in front of him.
And a fastball is lined to left center field, coming on over his range. He dives, and he makes the catch. Tim Raines with a diving catch, going to his left and a lot of field to cover, and a fine defensive play as the Yankees retire the Rangers in order, and an early defensive gem by Tim Raines. In the dugout after that outstanding defensive play, and the Yankees coming up in the first inning, and now the Toyota lineups. This is the Yankee batting order tonight against Rick Helling. Chuck Knobloch leading off at second, Derek Jeter at short, Paul O'Neill in right field, and Bernie Williams, the American League leading hitter, batting cleanup in center field. Tino Martinez is at first, Darryl Strawberry the DH tonight. He has been red hot. Tim Raines will be in left, Jorge Posada behind the plate, and Scott Brocious at third, batting ninth. Brocious with 5 RBIs in the win over Minnesota last night, matching his career high. And Rick Helling having a whale of a year, 15-6 as we take a look at his record.
Well, his numbers are very good, and he's really coming together. He's a big, strong kid who throws hard and is really getting the feel of pitching at the major league level.
Chuck Knobloch looks at strike one. Helling pitching to Knobloch, who's hitting .250, 15 homers, 55 RBIs. Well below his career average is Chuck Knobloch. But he says he would never trade in the experience he's having with the Yankees this year. It has been one to remember. And don't forget, he was on a world championship team with the Twins.
Yes, as a rookie. That's when he first came up. This guy can really play, and he adds an unbelievable dimension to this Yankee ball club at the front end of their lineup.
He gets jammed and pops it up in foul territory. Rodriguez and Zeal give chase, and Todd Zeal on the edge of the Rangers dugout makes the catch for out number one. Let's take a look, Jeff, at the rest of the Rangers defense.
Well, when you look at this defense, of course, it's anchored by Pudge Rodriguez, 6-time Gold Glover. Boy, he's special behind the plate. He's not having as great a year defensively as he is capable of, but he's still better than anybody else in the game, probably. But the Texas defense had not been good. Johnny Oates was not happy with it, so they went out and got Royce Clayton and Todd Zeal to anchor the left side of their infield. They just didn't have much range on that side of the field, and they feel like they're a better ball club now as a result of those trades.
So here's one team really making moves to assure that they can get into postseason. There is Zeal, the former Florida Marlin. Clayton came over from the St. Louis Cardinals, and the first pitch to Derek Jeter is over for a strike. Jeter, 6th in the American League, with a .324 batting average. Remember, he was on the disabled list in June. At the same time, Bernie Williams was out, and that was a time that the Yankees, who started off hot offensively, started to dip, but the starting pitching came into groove then.
Boy, did it ever. That shows how deep this team is, and they're so well balanced.
Breaking ball is chop foul, 1-2.
When you think about this Yankee team, and the addition of Knobloch really sewed up the defense. He struggled a little bit throwing, but he adds a dimension to the front end of the order. He can steal. Joe Torre can do anything with this lineup that he wants to do because of the fact this club can put the ball in play. They're not a free swinging team. They're really not the Bronx Bombers of the past. These guys can play the little game and very effectively.
Helling's 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball, fly ball to right field and drifting out of play. And you really said it. It would be hard to imagine that a team that is 58 games over 500, Jeff, is not a team that you can really compare to other great teams. I mean, you can really down the line, and you look at the roster, man for man, they don't match up. But as a team with chemistry, they do in a big way.
Boy, do they ever. And I think Joe Torre has a lot to do with that. Brian Cashman and, of course, Bob Watson before him. They have a great coaching staff here to go for Joe, and it really is quite a unit.
1-2 pitch is grounded to shortstop, and Royce Clayton, and safe at first base. Clayton's throw offline, and Will Clark tried to tag Jeter, and he is on at first base. And it should go, and it will go, as a throwing error charged to Royce Clayton. There it is, the throw offline, and Clark tried to make the tag.
Well, Clayton is such a good athlete with a good arm, and the ball dropped. I think the runner would have been out if Will Clark could have held on to it as he made the tag, and that's why it became an error. It was just one of those, he rushed the throw a little bit, and again, why did he do it? Because he knew he had speed and Jeter flying out of that box.
Here's Paul O'Neill with one out, and Jeter on at first base. Jeter with 24 stolen bases this year, and a home run swing and miss by O'Neill. O'Neill batting .316, 9th in the American League in hitting. In fact, Jeter, O'Neill, and Williams, batting in the 2, 3, and 4 slots, are amongst the top 10 hitters in the league.
Now that gives you a little idea why this club is winning, and it's no coincidence that the Yankees started winning, really started to make a comeback in the early 90s when this guy got here. Paul O'Neill came over from the Reds, and this ball club has been going ever since.
Lays off the pitch up. 1 ball and 1 strike.
When he was first offered around baseball a little bit, I should say, and that doesn't sound very good. It sounds like a piece of meat, but I was managing the Mets and he was offered to the Mets, and somebody said to me, well, he doesn't hit left-handed pitching real well. He hit .218. So the Yankees trade for him, and all of a sudden he becomes one of the key people in their whole lineup over the rest of the years that he's been here.
Very steady, and of course you've also chronicled the value he has as a right fielder.
And also he brings another intangible. He has got fire in his belly. He gets mad at himself. He tears up water coolers, but boy, does this guy want to win.
Jeter's stolen base numbers impressive. Willie Randolph, the third base coach, flashing the signs. Helling's 2-1 pitch. The runner doesn't go, and the count 3-1. Jeter, as we saw, with 24 stolen bases. Knobloch, who did not get on with 23, are the first middle infielder tandem that the Yankees have ever had, each with 20 stolen bases or more.
Well, that's amazing. And you look at O'Neill, he's got 13 and 14 attempts, so you know the front end of the order can run. But Jeter might be able to run on Helling. Not so much on Rodriguez, but on Helling.
Here he goes. The runner goes. The 3-1 pitch taken for ball 4. So a moot throw down to second as O'Neill draws the walk, and now runners are at first and second. Watch it. So runners at first and second. The Yankees with a first inning threat. Let's take a closer look, Jeff, now at Rick Helling coming in with a 15-6 record.
Well, he's what you call a fly ball pitcher. He gets the ball up in the strike zone because he throws a cross-seam fastball. He doesn't make the ball sink. He's got a good curveball. It's kind of like a slurve. It doesn't go straight down. It goes down and across. He's got a cutter that he'll use occasionally and a circle changeup. But as we just saw, the Yankees think they can run against Helling. Not so much on Ivan Rodriguez, who throws so beautifully, but Helling takes a little time getting the ball to the plate.
Here's Bernie Williams, the American League batting leader with an average of .352, the switch hitter, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Fine pitch by Helling, knee high on the inside edge.
Boy, you call it, Dick. This is one thing that Dick Bosman, the pitching coach of the Rangers, really has worked with Rick Helling to do, is get the ball down in the strike zone. Prior to this, he would be up in the middle of the strike zone, up too high too often. And there's Dick sitting in the Texas Ranger dugout. A very good pitcher in his own right. Pitched a no-hitter back in 1974 for Cleveland.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's inside. And of course, Johnny Oates, the manager, and Dick Bosman were together in Baltimore when they were with the Orioles for a spell.
Johnny Oates and Dick Bosman worked so well together. Of course, they should. Johnny Oates is a catcher. Dick Bosman, a former pitcher. But Johnny Oates is one of the probably most unheralded managers in baseball. Of course, he shared the Manager of the Year award a couple years ago with Joe Torre, and deservedly so, when the Rangers finally broke through to go into postseason with a division championship in 1996 1996 in Texas.
Tino Martinez on deck, and Helling is down low. 2 balls and a strike to Bernie Williams. Helling finished last year with Texas, had been with the Florida Marlins, so he did not have a chance to be on the roster that ultimately won the World Championship.
No, he had been a #1 draft choice of the Rangers, and then he got traded away and then brought back. This kid's a tough kid. He's out of Stanford. Real aggressive pitcher.
Setting up on the outside of the zone. Here goes Jeter trying to steal, and the throw. He got him. Great throw by Pudge Rodriguez to Todd Zeile, who puts the tag on Derek Jeter, and the Jeter got a good jump, but it was a bullet throw, and Jeter is out. Holding it first is Paul O'Neill.
Well, you better know you can make it when you have a left-handed hitter up, and with Pudge Rodriguez throwing, because you got an open shot at him, and there's the ball and the tag applied by Zeile. But look at it, knee on the ground, coming in with it. His hand got in there before the tag did. The ball actually beat him, but his hand got in on the base before he was tagged.
Well, unfortunately, Larry Young doesn't have slow motion replay. If he did, he might have had a different decision.
Well, you're talking about one of the best umpires in the American League, too, Larry Young. And so it was one of those plays, bang, bang. The ball had beat him. And when the ball gets there early, usually you would call him out.
He called it as he saw it. 3-1 the count to Bernie Williams. So O'Neill, the lone base runner, on at first. Outfield and infield playing straight away, and the pitch is chopped back. Count is full to Williams. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Yankees having a dream year. Their record here at Yankee Stadium, an incredible 45 wins and only 8 losses. They're 42-21, so they're 667 on the road. That is better than virtually every home team's record in all of baseball.
I don't know if there are any words to describe this. I mean, what they're doing is just almost impossible.
3-2 pitch. O'Neill goes, base hit to right field. And O'Neill will stop at second base, retrieved by Mike Sims. So Bernie Williams, leading the American League in hitting, gets the first hit of the ball game, and the Yankees with first and second. Now there's the projection right now over 162 games. The Yankees, if they continue at this pace, would win 122 games. Remember the all-time record, the Chicago Cubs back in '06. Jeff Torborg was in the minors back then. Only 116 wins at that time. Just kidding, Jeffrey. And I think people know that. Here's Tino Martinez with 2 on and 2 out. That's amazing. 116, the all-time win total. And a line drive, base hit to right field. They're going to wave him in. Here comes O'Neill, and the throw offline. The run scores, and Rodriguez now has Martinez in a rundown. They got to watch Williams, and he went out of the path. He stepped out of the path, and he is out. Out of the baseline, and so they're going to call Martinez out, and that'll retire the side. But the base hit by Tino Martinez brings home O'Neill, and after 1 inning here at Yankee Stadium, as Martinez appeals it, the Yankees lead the Rangers 1-0. Yankees take a 1-0 lead. Tino Martinez with his 93rd run batted in on a bizarre inning-ending play, Jeff.
Well, Tino Martinez was looking at the throw, and he saw that it went all the way through to the catcher, so he rounded first base, and they got him in a rundown. So you had him in the rundown. You had Bernie Williams over at third base waiting to go, and you see the second base umpire is Drew Coble, the crew chief. He's calling him safe. Now he's overruled by the first base umpire, Ed Hitchcox. Now you don't see that very often, a younger umpire overruling the crew chief, but it's important to get the play right. And then they talked about it after the inning was over.
So we go to the second inning. The Yankees lead 1-0, and Juan Gonzalez back in the starting lineup takes a call strike from Orlando Hernandez. Gonzalez, who has missed the last 3 games, he had muscle spasms in the left side of his neck. He has not been in the lineup in 9 of the last 14. 119 runs batted in, and the all-time record, Hack Wilson of the Cubs, 190. So Juan Gonzalez. You look at all of the great slugging goals, the Mark McGuires, the Sosas, the Griffeys, and you could put Gonzalez in that category.
Absolutely. This guy can really hit.
Swing and a miss on a good slider, and the count 1-2.
You just wonder how good he's going to be. He's been hurt with a bad neck. And when you have a bad neck, you're not fluid in swinging. He was not even in the lineup initially tonight. They wanted to see how he took batting practice. Well, then face a pitcher like El Duque, who has the rest of the league's right-handers hitting about 140 against him. It's going to be awful tough on Gonzalez.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and he strikes out. You know, just looking at El Duque, he could give you a stiff neck right there just by watching the pitcher. So there's one away here in the second. Well, next week on Baseball Thursday, are the Yankees the greatest team of all time? The Bombers' historic season rolls on in Minnesota, or the Angels charging towards a playoff berth as the home stretch kicks off against Detroit. Check local listings for the game in your area. One away, the second strikeout for Orlando Hernandez, now facing Will Clark. Clark looks at a changeup, and it misses ball 1. Clark's totals in RBIs and home runs. He has 16 homers. 76 runs driven in are the most he's had in the last 3 seasons. And a .306 batting average. Fouls it off, 1-1.
You know, it's a shame to watch his skills diminished by injury. He's had all sorts of injuries, and the big one was his right elbow was injured. And when you're a left-handed hitter, you can't get extension with your front arm if you lose the strength and have a stiffness in the elbow. This guy was one of the game's best hitters.
Swing and a miss on the fastball, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here is how Will Clark has upped his numbers.
Well, he's swinging the bat better now than he has, and part of that, it takes a long time, especially when you get older, to get over certain injuries, especially surgery.
And those were totals of 1996 and 7. He strikes out. The tag put on by Posada. So El Duque has struck out 3 of the first 5 batters he's faced. 2 gone.
This guy is amazing. You know, you keep talking about a man who's never pitched in the major leagues before. He's pitching great international baseball with Cuba, but he can throw his breaking ball over at any time, and this is the straight downer. Now he'll drop down and throw that from the side as well. He throws it like that on the top as he did to Will Clark to left-handers. You see Will shaking his head. It's a tough pitch to lay off.
Pudge Rodriguez, the batter, with 2 away, and tries to check a swing. And he cannot do it, as first base umpire Ed Hickox indicates that Rodriguez did swing. So strike 1 to Pudge, 5th in the American League with a .326 average, and 2nd with 35 doubles, having a big offensive year and always one of the best behind the plate. And you can see the Rangers, Jeff, are unquestionably dazzled and fooled by the multi-deliveries of Hernandez.
Absolutely, and of course the first time around the lineup they had never faced him before, and they don't know where the ball's coming from. And as we mentioned earlier, he pitches off his curveball. In other words, he uses his curveball like other people use their fastball.
1 ball and 2 strikes now to Rodriguez. Here is Rodriguez, or I should say Hernandez, who defected from Cuba in December of '97. He was picked up by the U.S. Coast Guard 3 days after landing on a Caribbean island, and he established residence in Costa Rica, and as you mentioned, star of the Cuba's national team, and now wearing pinstripes in a big year. Breaking ball misses away, and the count is 2-2.
You know, the people that are around him say he has his perspective on life so in gear. Now, can you imagine 3 days in a small 17-foot boat? He said that if it had been choppy seas, they would have drowned. Now, you know, here's a guy that just appreciates everything he's being a part of now.
2-2 pitch, fastball on the outside corner. He came at Rodriguez sidearm, and El Duque strikes out the side here in the 2nd. 4 strikeouts in 2 innings.
This guy is unbelievable, and so far the Rangers don't like what they've seen.
And Jeff Torborg as the Texas Rangers trail the Yankees 1-0, and the Yankees coming up in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Pudge Rodriguez, who threw out Derek Jeter trying to steal 3rd, and Will Clark hopes that he can make it to postseason in the American League this year with the Texas Rangers going in with a half-game lead over Anaheim in the West. Here's Darryl Strawberry. Has been scalding as of late. The Yankee DH misses a good fastball from Helling. Strike 1. You believe Strawberry? You can't get him out of the lineup. He is blistered right-handed, pitching to it fairly well. 21 homers, 51 runs batted in. Hits this high in the air to left field, but a play for Rusty Greer, and there's 1 away.
Well, he has been hot. He's got one of the prettiest swings. Of course, I don't think you ever say the right-hander has a pretty swing, but most left-handers do it. But he has got uniquely a smooth swing, lifts the leg, and he's a pleasure to watch take batting practice. Here's another guy who's got his life in gear. You know, he had such difficult times. He appreciates everything now on a day-to-day basis. You talk about this Yankee ball club. You talk about chemistry before. Yes, they have a special chemistry on this team. The role players know what expected of them. Nobody complains. Whatever Joe wants, they say, boy, when do you hear that? That's terrific.
And the players like coming into the clubhouse. They support each other, and that's something you just can't will. It has to be there. Here's Tim Raines. He fouls off the first pitch. Raines with a tremendous catch to end the Ranger first as he robbed Rusty Greer of extra bases with this catch.
Well, this was a very nice play in the alley. Now, Tim played for me when I managed the White Sox, and he likes to dive for the ball. He's on his knees a lot in the outfield. He feels comfortable lower looking at the ball, and he made a great play on that. His speed outran it.
Takes a strike, 0-2. So Raines and Strawberry, and you know, it has not been an easy assignment for Joe Torre to juggle those two as DHs in the field when you have an O'Neill and a healthy Bernie Williams.
You're not kidding. Add Chad Curtis to that, and here comes Chili Davis, going to be available next week.
That's right. Chili Davis, who has had ankle surgery, has been taking batting practice, expected to be activated Monday against the Kansas City Royals. But Joe Torre has done the juggling job as well as you could expect of any manager. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And Rodriguez thought he had him with the breaking ball, but it is ball 2-2-2. And there's third base umpire Larry Young indicating that Raines did not go around.
Now that's a tough play. As a catcher, you try to stay down as much as you can on any breaking ball. You don't want to come up in front of the umpire, but Pudge Rodriguez thought that was a strike and got up. He was going to throw the ball around the infield.
One out, nobody on base for the Yankees here in the second inning. Fastball fouled off, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, when you look at the makeup of this ball club and you think of it, Tim Raines, Tim missed most of last year. He was rehabbing. The Yankees stayed with him, and he stayed with his rehab. He came up near the end of the year and really was a force for him, and he just knows his role great on the club. You know, he has a lot of fun playing this game. This guy has had a heck of a career. I mean, Tim Raines was a star in his own right with Montreal. We traded for him with the White Sox. We traded Barry Jones and Ivan Calderon over to Montreal for him, and it took him a while to get used to the American League, but he's had a heck of a career.
And a great stolen base king early in his career. He only has 7 this year, and there is a curveball on the inside corner, and Rain goes down. And that is the first strikeout for Helling. 2 away here in the Yankees second. Well, every night on Fox Sports Net, it's Fox Sports News Prime Time. All the scores, all the highlights, and all the breaking stories. Covering your hometown team 7 nights a week. We are there. Fox Sports News Prime Time. So there are 2 gone here in the second inning. And that'll bring up Jorge Posada. Young switch hitting catcher, batting .289, and he takes down low, ball 1. Talk about the spirit and chemistry. Well, Joe Girardi, who was the catcher when the Yankees won the World Series 2 years ago, has spent a lot of time in tutoring Posada virtually every day. And how often do you see that? That's non-envy, I would say, by the veteran Girardi.
No, I agree. That's the way Johnny Roseboro with the Dodgers was for me. You know, a veteran who knew there was a young kid coming along, tried to help him as much as he could. Posada's going to be a star in this game. Anytime you get a switch hitting catcher, on top of that, normally you're just happy to get a left-handed hitting catcher, and especially with the Yankees, anytime you get a left-hander with power in this ballpark, and there's Joe Girardi sitting with Don Zimmer, who was his manager, incidentally, when he came to the big leagues back in '89. But Girardi out of Northwestern has been great with this young catcher.
Girardi caught David Cone last game yesterday afternoon, and Posada did not play. Girardi has been Cone's personal receiver. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Posada, and there's a drive hit deep to right field near the foul pole, and foul out of play. That had a chance for a while and drifted about foul by 15 feet.
This kid has been on everybody's mind when he started last year to have any type of trade talk with the Yankees. One of the first names any of the other teams would ask for when the Yankees were looking for a pitcher, looking for help, was Posada.
And Posada called out on strike, so Helling gets into the strikeout derby by getting 2 Yankees on called third strikes. So we go to the third here at the stadium. The Yankees lead the Rangers 1-0.
I never give in to a play. You know, sometimes the coach says, look, it's a bad play, just throw it away or take the sack. I don't like to hear that. I think every single time I drop back, I can throw a touchdown. That's also got me in trouble sometimes, but I think if you study hard enough and you prepare hard enough and you believe that you can make every play, that you'll make a lot more good plays than bad plays. Some guys are just willing to give in, and I'm not.
It's a Fox NFL special on your local Fox station.
With NBA League Pass, you'll choose from up to 40 NBA games a week.
To his right.
You know, we talked before about the Yankee coaching staff. What a great coaching staff. Mel Stottlemyre was a star here. Don Zimmer, of course, a major league manager in several stops, just an outstanding baseball guy. But then you have Willie Randolph and Chris Chambliss, former Yankee stars. So if it's tough to play in New York City, these guys obviously can settle people down.
And they've done that with several of the Yankees who have struggled. Scott Brosius as of late, who came out of it yesterday. Here is Mike Sims, the right fielder, and Sims takes strike 1. Now Sims has been the designated hitter against left-handed hitters. Lee Stevens put on the disabled list, but he's had to play against righties as well, and he was 3 for 4 against the Indians yesterday. So he has hit some right-handed hitters. Check swing, but it's over for a strike, 0-2.
He hasn't seen too many that look like this.
No.
Yesterday he faced Cologne from Cleveland, and you're talking about a guy who's a drop and drive straight over the plate. But as you can see, Sims is a big guy, and you can see he's had some outstanding home run ratio numbers this year.
1 every 10 at bats. Not this time. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So that is strikeout number 5 for El Duque, and there's 1 gone with 1 on here in the Ranger third.
Now here's the pitch. You see him tuck in, drop way down. That's way down from the side, and that was a breaking ball. That's almost not fair to a hitter who hasn't seen you in a while, and all he's seen in this at bat were sidearm fastballs, and then to see this thing. Well, that was a terrible looking swing. I had a couple of those in my career. But, you know, that's what happens when you can't reach the ball. You don't know where it's coming from.
None that I remember, however. Royce Clayton, a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Clayton, who came over from the Cardinals, along with Todd Stottlemyre. El Duque already with 5 strikeouts. His season's high 9 strikeouts on 2 occasions against Montreal June the 9th and the Mets on the 28th of June. He's got 5 already, and he's ahead of Clayton 0-1. Clayton batting 9th tonight. There's the base runner, Todd Zia. Check swing, and it's a ball, 1-1.
You know, you mentioned something before, the fear factor. A lot of people say, well, major leaguers aren't afraid. When you've got a guy out there throwing in the 90-mile-an-hour range, and you don't know where to look for the ball. Good hitters look for a slot where they see the ball come out of a guy's hand. Well, this guy's slot is a big one. It's from about behind his ear all the way down to behind his left leg. I mean, this guy really has a strange delivery.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, sidearm pitch, foul back. Well, the fear factor, the fear of failure, is one of the great incentives for a lot of players in all sports, and I never realized that, not having played to the level that you played or close to it, but I realized it in my time in Boston with the Red Sox when they were in those pennant races with the Yankees in 77 and 78. That I remember pitchers, Dick Drago for one, saying, I was scared to death out there, fear, and that was the incentive.
Well, that's true too, the fear of failure, but the physical fear of a guy hitting you in the coconut with one of those errant tosses, you know, you're just not sure whether you can keep your rear end in on it.
Ah, yes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And a ground ball to second base, Knobloch to Jeter, and the Yankees turn the double play and end the third inning. So the leadoff walk goes by the boards, and after 2.5 innings, the Yankees lead the Rangers 1-0 on this 4-6-3 double play to end the third. And welcome back to Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net. These kids didn't need a sheet or a sign. They just needed themselves for NY. There's the Y. The other young boy has the N, and that's enough for him. He's putting his Bernie Williams shirt on now. A little cool for that at this stage. Scott Brocious leading off the bottom of the third inning, takes strike 1. Brocious batting .295, 14 homers, 74 runs batted in. Hit his 14th homer yesterday, a 412-foot bomb, and matched his major league high with 5 runs driven in. He had been slumping prior to that.
He had been, and the bench coach Don Zimmer said to him, hey, relax, sit back and enjoy what's going on here. This is a special year. And coming from Zim, Scott said it relaxed him.
0-2 pitch, grounded into the hole, and a base hit for Brocious to start the Yankee third. It did relax him. He came over from Oakland in the trade for Kenny Rogers. Yankees with their third hit of the game.
Well, I was watching that game yesterday, and he had a hanging curveball into the bullpen in left center field. He's very strong. The Yankees got him this year really for defensive purposes. He had an off year last year with Oakland, and they didn't know what they were going to get out of him. He ends up making the All-Star team this year.
And when his batting average started to slip, he let his defensive play affect him as well, and that's, as you pointed out, where Don Zimmer settled him down. Here's Chuck Knobloch, fouled out to third baseman Todd Zeile his first time up. Brocious on, held on by Clark. 1-0 the count to Knobloch.
Now it's very interesting to look at Chuck Knobloch. He's a guy who, when he first came up, did nothing but hit the ball to right field. He's an outstanding high ball hitter. He is not afraid to go deep in the count, but since he's gotten older and stronger, he's learned to pull the ball with power.
Houston native World Series in his rookie year back in '91 with the Twins. 1 ball and 1 strike. While the Yankees have made some fortuitous trades and some free agent signings, they seem to be more coming up through the ranks now. More homegrown talent on the club than ever before.
Absolutely the key to this organization and this ball club right now. Just look at shortstop and Jeter and Bernie Williams in center field. They are homegrown people.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a strike, curveball. There's Bernie Williams. And so you look at some of the young players. Jeter, who's on deck.
You know, there's been some talk I heard yesterday watching the broadcast, the telecast, that Jeter might be considered to be the next Yankee captain. That is really an honor. There haven't been that many here. Boy, to be the captain of the Yankees, those pinstripes on. The third base coach, Willie Randolph, of course, one of those.
A lot of responsibility in that assignment. Curveball, and Rodriguez smothers it and has no throw. And the Knobloch will take ball 2, and Brocious in at second base. And that will be a wild pitch. And that is the 10th wild pitch of the year. And if Helling has any kind of shortcomings, it is that he is amongst the American League leaders in wild pitches.
He is, for 2 reasons. First of all, he's got that breaking ball that breaks wide sometimes, and when you're trying to keep it down, tends to bounce the ball. But that was good base running by Brocious. He recognized that that ball was going into the dirt. You know, when you have a catcher that throws as well as Rodriguez, a lot of times you hesitate to take the extra base.
And off the fist, a 1-hopper to McLemore. He'll make the play to retire Knobloch as Brocious goes to third. And there's 1 away here in the 3rd inning. Well, tonight at midnight, check out The Last Word with Jim Rome in L.A. and a live studio audience at the All-Star Cafe in New York. It's epic sports talk, bi-coastal and interactive. Join Roley as he mixes it up with the biggest names in sports. The Last Word tonight at midnight. Check your local listings.
Well, Dick, we talked about how the Yankees can play little ball, or they can play inside baseball. That was Chuck Knobloch shooting that ball to right side of the infield in order to get Brocious to third base. That is the way that this team plays the game. They do the things right that helps win ball games.
Derek Jeter reached on an error by Royce Clayton. The infield playing in with a runner at third, and the first pitch up high, ball 1. So in case Jeter had any idea for laying one down in a squeeze situation, that's the best way to nullify that, Jeff.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you got any thought they might squeeze, you don't want to pitch out, throw toward the hitter and get him out of there.
Good pitch by Helling as he jams Jeter, and the count 1-1.
You know, the book on Jeter is to pitch him hard in, but you know, he's amazing. He can get his hands inside the ball. He inside outs the ball to right field a lot, but if you keep pitching him in there, he'll get the head of the bat out and he'll hit a home run. Now, he's got good power, and of course he's got his career high now, but this guy is a very talented shortstop. 6'3", 195 pounds, one of the new breed of big shortstops like Alec Rodriguez and Garcia Parra.
He has 14 home runs, 58 runs batted in. Pretty good for a shortstop, hitting in the number 2 slot. Reaches out, and a fly ball to right field. Sims will make the catch. Tagging up is Brocious. He'll come in and score, and the Yankees lead it 2-0. So just as Jeff indicated, you couldn't have been more on the nose than that. Jeter going to the opposite field deep enough to get in Brocious with the second Yankee run for Derek Jeter, his 59th run driven in.
Well, that's a Yankee manufactured run. Scott Brocious got the base hit, and then he went to second base on the ball. It didn't get away from Bud Rodriguez very much. Got him over Knobloch, and here's the breaking ball out away, and all Jeter was trying to do was put the ball in play far enough to right field to score Brocious from third, which he did.
Yankees leading 2-0, and Paul O'Neill the hitter, and he takes a strike from Rick Helling. So the Yankees lead 2-0. Setting a major league record now. They have taken the lead in 42 consecutive games. The last time the Yankees did not have a lead in the ball game was back on June 28th when they were beaten by the New York Mets 2-1. That is a phenomenal, when you really think about it, a phenomenal number. 42 straight games the Yankees have been in front.
Well, we said in the open, every time we come in here, there's a new record they're shooting at or breaking. It's just an incredible year.
No balls and 2 strikes. With the bases empty, the Yankees with a run in and a changeup swung on and missed. Strike 3, but the Yankees get another run, and after 3 here at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees lead the Texas Rangers 2-0. Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Gillette Mach 3, the first triple blade razor. And welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Johnny Oates' Texas Rangers, who are battling the Anaheim Angels for the American League West first place lead. They lead by half a game, but as Jeff pointed out early on, the Boston Red Sox seem to have the wild card salted away at this point. So it's first place or no count for Texas. And here is Tom Goodwin up for the second time as he takes ball 1. Goodman hit a soft liner back to Hernandez to start the game. Fastball fouled off to the left, and it's 1-1. Third baseman Brochus playing in on the grass at third.
You know, the first time I ever saw a third baseman play right on top of a left-handed speed hitter was when Pete Rose played way up on Mickey Rivers in the '76 World Series. He almost challenged you to hit the ball down there. It was one of those things. He went right up in his face, said, "Okay, try to hit it here," and it can take you right out of your game.
Remember that, bro? Rivers used to tomahawk the ball to try to get it past the third baseman. Fly ball down the left field line. Tim Raines makes the catch for out number 1 here in the 4th inning. Well, the Braves and the Padres going at it in the top of the 7th inning with Atlanta leading 3-0. Chipper Jones hit a solo homer to right field, his 29th of the year off of Scott Sanders, and the Atlanta Braves go on and beat the San Diego Padres by a score of 5-0. A lot of people anticipating a possible World Series confrontation between the Braves and the Yankees, who clashed 2 years ago. Here is Mark McLemore looks at a curveball for a strike. He was caught looking in the first inning. One ball and 1 strike. The only amazing thing is that the Yankees can go on and win 122 or whatever they do, and then you're at the mercy of a short series after
That's
that.
right. It's a new season. You have to start all over again. You're absolutely right.
Fastball in the air, deep to right center field. Bernie Williams looking up, and it's off the wall. And McLemore will go into second with a double, and the first hit of the game for the Rangers off of Hernandez. A 1-out double here in the 4th inning, and that was scalded.
That was it. And remember what we said in the beginning of the game. Hernandez has had some trouble against left-handed hitters. Not against right-handers, left-handers. And here's a pitch that he leaves right in the middle of the plate, and Mark McLemore makes him pay for it. Remember also, now the Rangers have been around the lineup once. They've seen this is the second time for the hitters to see him, and maybe it will help them a little bit. But left-handers have a definite advantage against El Duque.
2-1, the Yankees lead, but a runner at second with 1 out, and the first pitch to Rusty Greer misses. 1-0. Greer was robbed of extra bases by Tim Raines, who made a diving catch in left center field. That was back in the first inning, and El Duque stepping off the rubber there. You see how left-handers have been successful against Hernandez, hitting .315 with 5 home runs. A sharp contrast to what righties have accomplished. 1 out, 1-0, the count to Greer with Gonzalez on deck. That pitch just down low, 2-0.
You know, Dick, you can see why he has much more trouble with left-handers. He throws from a low arm angle. The low arm angle really bothers right-handed hitters because you can't see the ball coming at you or where it's coming from. The left-hander has a longer chance or more of a view to see it coming, and from the side doesn't hurt him that much.
Balls behind, 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes, and Greer 1 pitch away from walking, and Gonzalez coming up next. So you don't want to fool around here with Gonzalez and have him come up with 2 runners on base.
Well, you're not kidding, except he's right-handed. Now he might feel a little more comfortable after that last at bat he had against him.
And that pitch misses, ball 4, and Rangers now with the tying runs on base.
Well, as we were talking about, if you take a look at El Duque's delivery from behind, from center field, his arm angle is very low, somewhere down in this area. So it doesn't, up in here as high as he gets, it doesn't fool the left-handed hitter as much. Yes, a right-handed hitter, but not a left-handed hitter.
And he doesn't seem to have the same kind of confidence with the myriad of deliveries against the left-handed hitters. But now he's got Gonzalez, who struck out in his first time up. Tying runs are on base, and a swing and a miss, and Gonzalez totally befuddled on that pitch.
Yeah, he doesn't have a feel for this ball right now. Remember, he's been out with a tight neck. His neck has been stiff, and when you have that problem and you're a big, strong hitter, sometimes it slows your swing down, and the front side will come out. Well, if you're going to give it all against this kid El Duque, and I use the term kid, if one birth date is right, he's a kid. If not, he's 32 years of age, but he's very tough on right-handers.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and again he chases the outside pitch. No balls and 2 strikes, so Gonzalez in an 0-2 hole. But what a year he is having with 119 runs batted in. And there he is with extra base hits, home runs, and a slugging percentage of over 600.
Well, when he stays healthy and he's in that lineup day in and day out, he can put some amazing numbers up. But right now, he is not too sure of how to approach Orlando Hernandez. He just doesn't see the ball when it comes from that big sweeping curveball. Now he doesn't know what to expect. A fastball, a breaking ball, he doesn't know what to expect.
No balls and 2 strikes. McLemore at second, Greer at first, with 1 out. And he strikes out 3 identical pitches, and Gonzalez chased all 3 and goes down on strikes for the second time. 2 outs here in the 4th.
You know, when Gonzalez is in a groove, he doesn't go after bad balls. He stays on the ball. Now here he is. You can see where this is way. Look how far away that ball was. Now here it was way out in this area here, and he can't even reach it. Watch him reach out on this ball. See, his seat's gone, and he's got the extension. That ball, he missed that ball by a good foot. And that's when you're not in a groove, when you don't feel comfortable, and you swing at that ball, you have no chance.
6 strikeouts for El Duque, 2 outs, still 2 on, and the first pitch fastball on the outside corner. Well, we always talked about going up the ladder on a pitcher. Yes. This way they went sideways on him.
Exactly, and he threw from the same arm angle as you mentioned, with a good call. 3 identical pitches, only a little bit farther away each one.
So now it's up to Will Clark. He too struck out his first time up when Hernandez struck out the side in the second. 2-0 Yankees lead, but the Rangers have the tying runs on base. There's a breaking ball that breaks down low. 1-1 to Clark.
Well, when you think about what a right-handed side wheeler can do to get a left-hander out, you can run the fastball in on the left-handed hitter, or you can throw a cutter. But you're at Yankee Stadium with a short porch in right field. I would think the Yankees will probably stay away from Will Clark. If he's going to hurt him at all, he's going to have to hurt him to the big part of the ballpark. So they'll probably try to backdoor. What we talk about a backdoor as Posada goes out to talk to him is throw the breaking ball over the outside part of the plate and make the hitter reach for the ball. And as we say, when you think about the arsenal that Hernandez has, he's got 2 types of breaking balls. One that goes down and one that sweeps. Well, he doesn't want a sweeper right here to Will Clark. He wants the one to go down, and if he can, he'll try to backdoor it and maybe make him chase it again. That's what he struck him out on the first time, a ball in the dirt.
And there was, but Clark did not chase that pitch down low in the dirt, and a good stop made by Jorge Posada. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Hernandez, who has thrown 61 pitches in 3 2/3 innings, has struck out 6, walked 2, and has allowed only 1 hit. A sharp double off the wall by McLemore here in the 4th. Trying to pitch out of his first jam of the game. And Will Clark, a .290 lifetime average against the Yankees, but never having faced this guy before. And that was a tough pitch to lay off. 3-1.
Well, he's thrown 2 curveballs that were excellent curveballs and were taken. Will Clark decided he's not going to swing at that bad curveball, but ironically they were so close that they could have gone either way. But I think Will's got a little feel for him now. Now's the time for El Duque to either throw a changeup, he's thrown a lot of curveballs, or a hard fastball here.
3-1 with 2 out and 2 on. Here in the Ranger 4th, and the pitch misses inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Hernandez with his second walk this inning, 3 in the game, and the bases are loaded for Pudge Rodriguez. So a chance for the Rangers catcher to get the Rangers back in the game.
You know, it's interesting. We're at Yankee Stadium right now. I was talking before the game with Tommy John, one of the telecasters for the Yankees. Now, he was a kind of pitcher that would pitch around hitters he thought could hit him, even to load the bases. Well, I'm not so sure El Duque does that, but I have seen him do it already this year in order to get a right-hand hitter. Well, now he's getting out a right-handed hitter now. It's a very good hitter.
But he has slumped as of late, and he's at his lowest point of the year, 326. He takes the ball outside. Let's check the runners for you. McLemore is over at third base. Rusty Greer is on at second. And Will Clark, the runner at first base. 1-0 to Rodriguez, who was hitting 347 and has dropped down to 326. Not bad when you drop down to 326. Huh? Here's the sidearm pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-1.
Dick, that's what a breaking ball does. The more breaking balls that this kid El Duque throws, the faster it makes his fastball, because what it does is slow down the Texas Ranger bats. They're looking at so much off-speed stuff that when they see a fastball, it surprises them. And Rodriguez, of course, there was a lot of talk earlier in the season about Ivan Rodriguez maybe winning a batting title, which catchers don't often do. Well, catchers don't often play almost every day in that extreme heat that they have in Texas either. That's got to wear on you.
1 ball, 1 strike to Rodriguez. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the Texas fourth. And a foul ball. That's about as good a pitch as Rodriguez will see from El Duque.
You know, it's interesting. That's exactly right, because he's gotten 2 pitches he probably could have hit. They're on the inner half of the plate. But now watch this one. You're going to see a big sweeping sidearm breaking ball, I would think, right here. Now the good part, if you're Pudge Rodriguez, Johnny Oates has told me that he hits the ball to right field as well as anybody, and that's the way he used to hit as a kid.
And the crowd on its feet, 50,000 plus here at the stadium. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know what the crowd's looking for, and that is the strikeout. And he gets him. He chased the breaking pitch, set up beautifully, as Jeff pointed out. Viva El Duque! And the Rangers, 2 strikeouts of the inning, leave the bases loaded. And in the middle of the 4th inning, the Yankees 2, the Rangers nothing. Years old, he's still a kid in many observances. This is the strikeout of Rodriguez.
Well, he had set it up with 2 fastballs inside, and then he swings that big sloppy curveball outside, and he looks up to the heavens. This guy has had a difficult time in his life, and he is realizing a dream now. Last year he was in a mental institution, not as a patient but as a worker there for a couple dollars a day, and he's getting the chance at the major league level, and boy does he appreciate it.
After he was banished from Cuban baseball, that's where he worked briefly, and he has a lot to be thankful for. And the Yankees are reaping a lot of those dividends as they come up in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bernie Williams singled his first time up. Williams hitting .354, leading the American League in hitting. Switch hitter, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Rick Helling coming in with a record of 15-6, tied for 2nd in the American League with victories. 2 complete games and a shutout for Helling this season, and comes in with the fastball missing inside, and the count 1-1. Helling, a native of Devils Lake, North Dakota, now lives in Fargo. 27-year-old right-hander, as Jeff pointed out, a burly pitcher at 6'3", 220 pounds. Comes up with the fastball, fouled off by Williams, 1-2.
Well, that's the kind of fastball up in the zone that he used to throw when he was a young kid. He'd get in trouble and he'd try to throw harder, and he'd get it up in the zone and they would catch up to it and hit it. Now he's the kind of guy who can get the ball down in the strike zone. But I watched Bernie Williams hit a ball low and away yesterday out of the ballpark to left field, hitting left-handed. You get the ball down to Bernie, he could sting you.
Chops down on it, and a great play made by McLemore going to his right, and he throws out Bernie Williams. That was a difficult play for McLemore as Williams chopped down on it, and that really nearly scooted out into center field.
Well, that was a good call, Dickie. That was a terrific play. We talked earlier that McLemore's knees have been bothering him after playing on artificial turf, and now he's feeling pretty good, but that was a terrific play. And that's what the Rangers did in '96 when they won the division. They made great defensive plays. They didn't beat themselves.
McLemore had arthroscopic surgery on both knees during the offseason, and he may have to undergo some more surgery at the end of this year.
Yeah, when you have knees and you're starting to get older that are bothering and getting a little creaky, and then you try to play on artificial turf, it's like trying to play on a green freeway. It takes its toll, and especially after you've had some surgery. You know, this season is a long season at the major league level, and it takes its toll on you.
Tino Martinez, who drove in the first Yankee run with a single to left field and caught in a rundown, and eventually called out when he ran out of the base path, but he got the first Yankee run home. Yankees added another run in the third. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's in there, 2-1.
You know, we were talking about that play when Tino Martinez went out of the baseline. We talked about how one umpire overruled another and even overruled the crew chief. That's what's so good about this umpiring crew. They're not afraid to maybe embarrass. Oh, that ball was coming right here.
Well,
I thought we had one.
Well, you thought you had one. Speak for yourself, Mr. Catcher.
But when you think about an umpiring crew that want to get the play right, they're not worrying about egos. They're not worrying about somebody being shown up. That really showed me something. That's the crew chief, Drew Coble, and I guarantee when that was over, he said, "Good call to Ed Hickok."
3 balls, 2 strikes, and a good point you bring out with them working together, because you remember that Oriole-Yankee series when there was a bad play made at third base, and the home plate umpire could have overruled or discussed with the third base umpire the true play. It was a miscall, and they didn't do that. And here they did.
Well, you know, that really shows me something. An umpiring crew works together most of the season. They'll have people substituted, but the crew chief, now Drew Coble is a former athlete. You know, he was a quarterback at Elon College. This guy is really a good man. And I'm sure he's told his crew, hey, let's get the play right. I don't care if I look like I made a mistake, but let's get the play right.
Martinez fouls off the fastball once more, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. And these teams could indeed meet in the American League Division Series to start it off if things remain as they are. And so you don't want to give a team confidence. Even though you're 58 over 500, you don't want to give them the impression that even though their record is far inferior to yours, that they may have your number.
Boy, that's true, because you remember that. That's in the back of your mind. Of course, if you remember, in 1996, the Texas Rangers almost beat the Yankees, and that was one of their miracle years, of course. But in that first series, they had the lead as Tino fouls the ball back, but they had the lead. I think they won the first game. They had the lead in the second game. They just couldn't close them out. And of course, now who do they have? They have the Yankee closer of that year,
John Wetland. And you're right. You'd look at a short series and you can get knocked out. Look at the Cubs, 116 wins. They lost. The Indians of 1954 lost to the Giants in 4 straight, as Martinez, who made Helling work, finally strikes out for out number 2. Well, this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, it's a battle of division leaders as Pudge Rodriguez and the Texas Rangers take on these Yankees right here at the stadium as the Red Hot Yanks look to continue their torrid pace for the postseason. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern and Pacific with The Zone on Fox. Check your local listings. 2 out, Darryl Strawberry taking ball 1. Strawberry, the Yankees DH, fly to left field his first time up. 2-0, the Yankees lead, and there's a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. And again, looking at those lofty win seasons and how it does not guarantee that you're going to win the World Series or a playoff run. The 1-1 to Strawberry, pops it up to the center of the diamond. Clayton calls off Zeal and makes the catch to retire the side. So Helling retires the Yanks in order for the second time. And there is Darryl Strawberry, who has been on a tear, but 0 for 2 tonight. After 4, it's 2-0 New York.
I talk to my mom every Sunday.
Back at Yankee Stadium, Dick Stockton and Jeff Torborg with the Yankees leading 2-0 going to the 5th inning. And here's how El Duque disposed of the Ranger threat last inning.
I swear, I know he's not walking the left-handers on purpose to get to the right-handers, but he has struck Juan Gonzalez out looking so badly. And also Ivan Rodriguez, 2 of their top hitters are right-handers, though, and he makes them look so sick with that sidearm breaking stuff.
And he has Gonzalez and a lot of the Ranger right-handers talking to themselves. Hernandez will face the bottom third of the Texas batting order here in the 5th inning. Todd Zeal, who walked to start the 3rd inning, leading off. Looks at a curveball for a strike. Zeal, of course, started the year with the Dodgers, was traded to the Florida Marlins in May 16th, but everyone knew he wasn't going to remain with the Marlins for long. In a major house cleaning situation that frankly has a lot of the fans in South Florida disturbed, and rightfully so.
Yeah, such a shame after the year they had last year. And normally you'd think that the second year after that's when you reap the benefits of the attendance, but they couldn't do it. They didn't have the team in place.
They didn't have a chance to say defending world champions with the team they put out there.
No. But to their credit, they told Todd Zeal they would place him with a team that was in contention.
Time is called at the plate. And Zeal now with a chance to get to postseason with the Texas Rangers. Lays off the outside pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Texas coming in with a record of 64 and 54. A half a game in front of the Anaheim Angels. Angels are riding a 4-game winning streak coming into tonight's play. Just got his bat on to stay alive.
Oh boy, this is tough for a right-handed hitter. But you mentioned the Angels. I don't know how the Angels are doing what they're doing. They've got everybody on the ball club, it seems, on the DL. They've lost so much pitching throughout the season. They got a lot of heart with that ball club, and you wonder how long they can stay there doing it that way.
Most people are of the opinion that the Rangers should hold off Anaheim and win the West. I mean, you'd have to say so with the potent batting order. I mean, the Yankees and Texas lead the American League in hitting, with the Yankees #1 and Texas 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Todd Zeal, leading off here in the 5th inning. He will be followed by Mike Sims and then Royce Clayton. There's Sims waiting his chance. And he's out of there, right down the middle, and Todd Zeal goes down. That is the 8th strikeout for El Duque. And now it's time for our Michelin trivia question. And who was the last American League switch hitter to win a batting title? Mull that one over. Here's Mike Sims, who struck out his first time up. Swing and a miss. El Duque looks like he's got a little more zip on his fastball.
Well, that last pitch, he challenged big Mike Sims right down the middle and threw the ball right by him. And we talked earlier, when you have established the breaking ball so much early in the game, now all of a sudden you have the hitter's bat speed slow down for that pitch.
1-1, and it appears though that the Rangers may be laying off that sweeping breaking ball, at least some of the right-handers as of late. Zeal did, and now Sims did on that pitch. Two and one.
You know, as a catcher and a pitcher, you start to change gears a little bit in the middle of the game. Sometimes going around the lineup the second time or a time and a half through the lineup, you start to change on the sides of the plate you're going to use, and you change the pitch selection a little bit.
Fastball on the outside corner, 2-2.
In fact, Jorge Posada right there, I should say, right there, was surprised with that pitch a little bit. He was looking for the ball down and in, and it exploded up around his mask. But El Duque, now you're going to see the big wide sweeper again.
Fastball on the outside corner, and tell you what, Orlando Hernandez going to the heat a lot more here. He gets Sims for the second out, and his 9th strikeout of the game here in the 5th, which matches his season's high. 2 strikeouts here in this 5th inning.
Well, I guess wrong too. You can see Posada use his hands outside his glove, that he wants him to throw sidearm. That's the sign to throw sidearm, when he waves his hand outside his shin guard. But they surprised both Sims and me with a fastball on the outside part of the plate and froze him.
Clayton with a strike. 0-1 to Clayton. So 9 strikeouts for Hernandez. 4 of them called third strikes. Clayton bounced into an inning double play his first time up. Bases empty, 2 outs. Yankees lead 2-0, and a fastball fouled upstairs into the 3rd deck. So El Duque coming in with the heat here in this 5th inning, looking to strike out the side for the 2nd time tonight. No balls, 2 strikes to Royce Clayton. And he gets him. And that's the 10th strikeout for Orlando Hernandez, and that establishes a career and season's high for the rookie as he strikes out the side for the 2nd time. He has 10 Ks in the game, and the Yankees still lead the Rangers 2-0 in the middle of the 5th. Of baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted without written consent. And welcome back to Yankee Stadium, where the Yankees lead by a score of 2-0 going to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees, who are 58 games over the 500 mark. That's the most games over 500 by any Yankee club since 1939. They lead the East Division by 18.5 games. Looking to make it 8 in a row, 11 of their last 12. And they have just steamrolled over everybody in the American League. Tim Raines, the leadoff hitter, ball down on strikes his first time up, fouls off the first pitch. Talk about Raines and some of the great years he had. He was 38 years old, and he had stolen bases from 70 to 90 in a 5-year span in the early to mid 80s, among other great numbers. I mean, he is a 301 National League all-time hitter. 1 ball and 1 strike to Raines. Hitting 7th in the Yankee order, takes the ball 2-1.
I remember when Tim Raines first came up, he was used as that prototypical leadoff hitter, and he did steal all those bases. In fact, when he was traded over the American League in 1991, I think he stole 51 bases that first year, but even then he took his time because he said he didn't see the pitchers well.
Swinging bunt, Helling quickly off the mound, guns it to first in time, and Raines is retired. 1 out here in the 5th inning. Well, the Twins are battling the Red Sox in the top of the 6th inning with the Red Sox leading 7-2. Nomar Garciaparra hit a home run, his 25th of the year off of Brad Radke, the All-Star, and so the Red Sox now lead by a score of 8-2. It's 7-2. Jorge Posada with 1 out here in the 5th inning. Posada struck out looking his first time up. Yankees in front 2-0. They about hit the Rangers 3-1. Helling is pitching a pretty good game, but is really being overshadowed by the strikeout antics of El Duque Hernandez.
Well, that's amazing. Every time he gets 2 strikes on any hitter, the fans stand and start cheering. It's the first place I ever heard him really do that. That started with Ron Guidry.
Right, Louisiana Lightning.
Right, every time Ronnie got ahead of a hitter with 2 strikes, the place stood up and started to roar. I, of course, caught Sandy Koufax, a great strikeout pitcher, and Nolan Ryan. The fans would cheer, but they didn't get on their feet every time they went to 2 strike.
They didn't put the K's up either at those in those days, did they? There's a breaking pitch, and it's 1 ball and 2 strike to Posada. What a fortunate playing experience that you had to catch 2 of maybe the 5 greatest all-time pitchers in the game.
I was really very fortunate, as you mentioned. Here's a bullet. Another nice play.
McLemore makes the play and retires Posada for out number 2. So McLemore twice has robbed Yankees of base hits going to his right, but
as you see McLemore make this play, this is almost identical to the one that he made earlier in the ballgame. That's a terrific play. But to get back a little bit to what you were saying, you know, when I think back on the guys that I was around, Hall of Famers Don Drysdale, Don Sutton, Sandy Koufax, Nolan Ryan will obviously go in probably in a first ballot, I would think. If anybody would, he would.
The 3 good ones, and I'm sure there are a lot more than that. Roches fouls out to Clark. Yankees are down in order in the 5th. We go to the 6th inning.
Need a faster truck?
this is yesterday's paper.
Now you have a chance to win a real Ron Hornaday NASCAR racing truck, a one-year lease on a 99 Chevy pickup, or a tool set during Napa Auto Parts Trucking and Tooling Sweepstakes and Sale. Come by today.
Tomorrow's paper.
Regal Ride gas shocks are $10.99. Struts as low as $21.99.
NBA fans, don't miss this special offer. Order 1998-99 NBA League Pass on Prime Star at the early bird price of $130.
Here so far, the Yankees lead 2-0. El Duque with 10 strikeouts. Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, has to enjoy what he is seeing. And right now, we'll wrap it up for you. I hope you've been thinking about our Michelin trivia question, which tonight was, who was the last American League switch hitter to win a batting title? Let's see if you came up with this. Willie Wilson. Ooh. 1982. Now, both Jeff and I thought of Mickey Mantle, thinking to be a Yankee tie-in, but not to be. 1956 when he won the Triple Crown. 353 was his batting average then. Bernie Williams, switch hitter, currently leading the American League in hitting. Tom Goodwin leading off, and 0 for 2 takes ball one. That line out was a soft liner back to the mound. Line drive, and this one a little harder hit, but right at Chuck Knobloch, who handles it for out number one. Goodwin retired for the third time tonight, and that will bring up Mark McLemore, the Rangers' second baseman. He has sparkled in the field tonight and has the only Texas hit, a sharp double off the right field wall in the fourth inning. The Rangers loaded the bases before El Duque struck out Pudge Rodriguez to end that threat. 1-0, the count to McLemore. Brosius playing wide of third and even with the bag. Rest of the infield around to the right. And Orlando Hernandez falling behind 2-0 now to the Rangers' second baseman. He's a switch hitter. There's a fastball over, 2-1.
You know, it's amazing to watch this guy work. He works very smoothly, even though he's unorthodox. Everything is smooth. Even the leg kick, which is a really drastic leg kick, has a little hump in it right at the end when he does it, but then he comes to the plate with a very smooth delivery. He doesn't get out in front of himself, and I think a lot of that is what really fools the hitters, because he looks like he's throwing so easy, and then the ball flies at him.
And he walks McLemore, and that is the fourth walk issued by Hernandez. 1 on and 1 out here in the sixth.
Nick, here's what I mean. By lifting his leg way up, he hides the ball. Now the leg goes way up in here, and he hides the ball. Here he goes. Look how he turns, and he hides the ball. Look how high that leg is. It's right up around his head. Now when he comes to the plate, they don't see the ball until it comes out of that delivery in a low arm slot. So it makes him so effective.
Rusty Greer swinging at the first pitch, pops it up, and Jeter in short center field makes the catch for out number 2. So it's kind of like a lag with the right hand coming over after the high kick. So there are 2 out. McLemore remains at first base here in the 6th inning. Well, on Saturday, August 29th, college football is back with a bang. D'Angelo Evans leads the defending national champions as the Cornhuskers of Nebraska kick off the post-Tom Osborne era. It's the Eddie Robinson Classic, Louisiana Tech versus Nebraska, August 29th on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings. 2 out to Juan Gonzalez, who has been totally bewitched. And if we were in the musical sense, bothered and bewildered, I guess, by El Duque's deliveries tonight. Has struck out on 2 occasions, and as Jeff has pointed out, with the neck problem, his first time back after missing 3. He's the DH tonight. 2 outs and McLemore at first. So the tying run is Gonzalez at the plate. He does have 33 home runs. That's the best pitch he's gotten to hit tonight.
You know, I was just about to say, now, as a catcher and a pitcher, after making a hitter look terrible, in the first 2 at-bats, he didn't even come close to fouling off the sidearm breaking ball. You got to be careful of getting caught in the trap of trying to change it, do something else. Juan Gonzalez just missed a home run pitch there. That was a fastball that was left in the middle, from the middle in, and that's where Gonzalez drops the head of the bat on it. I always, as a catcher, said, I'm going to keep going until he shows me can hit a particular pitch. If Posada now, I'm thinking is, boy, am I glad he didn't hit that one out of the ballpark. I think I'm going to go down and away from him now.
Good point. Why change if you're getting him out on that pitch? There he is, and there he is with the swing. So I think that Hernandez and the Yankees dodged a bullet with that previous pitch.
Oh, did they ever? This game could have been tied up with that one swing. And Gonzalez is so strong. He holds his hands high, and he can get down to that low pitch from the middle in. The pitch he has trouble with, we've seen all night, is low and away. So does every other hitter that ever lived if they swing at bad balls. But excuse me, Dick, you just want to make sure that you don't get it in that hitting zone.
That was a mental mistake, perhaps. Well, the crowd on his feet, looking to see him. Hernandez can strike out Gonzalez, and he almost does. He held up on the pitch, and it bluffed to first base. McLemore gets back, and the count is even, 2-2.
Boy, what a tough pitch to hold up on. I don't know how he held up on that ball. In fact, he swung at balls farther away than that one.
It's the first time he has held up on that pitch.
Yes.
Crowd looking for strikeout number 11 from El Duque. And he holds up. 3-2 now, and so with the count full and 2 out, McLemore will be off at first. Yankees leading 2-0. This has been a terrific pitcher's duel. Rangers have been held to 1 hit. They loaded the bases in the 4th. The Yankees have 3 hits and a 2-0 lead.
Now, what you might do here if you're Posada is throw a fastball low and away, much as they did to Mike Sims, lock him up when that sidearm fastball instead of a sidearm breaking ball might surprise him.
And that's what he does. Struck him out. Kind of a breaking pitch, but he had a little more velocity on that. Gonzalez strikes out for the 3rd time in the game. 10 strikeouts for Orlando Hernandez. And in the middle of the 6th, the Yankees still lead the Rangers 2-0. Century Mutual Funds presents the play of the century. And it was right here at Yankee Stadium. Game 5 of the 56 World Series. Don Larson pitches the only no-hit, no-walk game. A perfect game in World Series history. Larson retired the Brooklyn Dodgers, getting Dale Mitchell on strikes, 27 up, 27 down. Yogi Berra becomes part of baseball history as the battery mate to the only perfect game in World Series play. And of course, David Wells this year pitched a perfect game for the Yankees. And Don Larson, the pitcher. There's Yogi Berra, but tell you what, yeah, Berra had a great career, but that was the greatest pitching effort in the history of the World Series by Don Larson. Chuck Knobloch leading off in the bottom of the 6th inning, takes strike 1 from Rick Helling. I want to correct the strikeout numbers. Hernandez, by striking out Gonzalez, now with 11 strikeouts in the game. His previous high in a game, 9. 1 ball, 1 strike to Knobloch, who is 0 for 2 tonight.
How about the coincidence that Don Larson pitched a no-hitter, the perfect game in the World Series, and you mentioned David Wells, and they went to the same high school. Of course, not at the same time,
San Diego.
Yes.
Fastball in the air, shallow right field. Sims coming on in, and he makes the catch for out number 1. We have not had a lot of fly balls hit tonight. Come to think of it, they haven't really checked to see, but that may have been the first fly ball hit by a Yankee. Knobloch flying out to right field.
You know, that's saying something about Helling, too, because normally he's a fly ball pitcher. When you throw that cross-seam fastball up in the strike zone, and when you say up. Now, remember that don't get confused with up for a major leaguer is from the mid-thigh upward, not necessarily up around the letters any longer. But Helling has pitched very well, too, and as you mentioned, kind of lost a little bit in this unbelievable game that El Duque is pitching.
Here is Jeter, and he takes the pitch inside, ball 1. Well, Rick Helling will never lose his glove because, as you noticed on the close-up shot, has his name etched in gold on it. Rick Helling, right where the thumb is. Jeter fouls it off. 1 ball and 1 strike. You see, when he starts his warm-up, Right on the thumb area, it says Rick Helling, so we will leave that alone if we pay a visit to the Texas clubhouse after the game. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Took something off that pitch and missed 2-1.
Well, we talked about Derek Jeter, about how when he first came up, he really liked to shoot the ball to right side, to the right field side. He is an inside-out hitter. But now, much along the way that Knobloch was coming up, now he can turn on the ball, and he hits the ball all over the ballpark. But he likes the ball up in the strike zone. And as he gets older and stronger, he gets and gains in power. And of course, his best buddy is Alex Rodriguez, and what a job he's doing.
2 peas in a pod. Fastball, and Jeter misses. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jeter with a 15-game hitting streak earlier this year, the second longest of his career. 3-2 with nobody on and 1 out here in the Yankees' 6th inning. The Yankees with the runs in the 1st and 3rd innings, and that has been the scoring in what has been an outstanding battle of pitchers tonight. Fastball, he's out of there on the outside corner, and Jeter complaining to Dale Ford, but he goes down. That is the 5th strikeout by Helling, and Jeter with a few more choice words for Dale Ford.
Now here's the pitch. We were talking about Helling coming over the top, and he drives the ball at the plate, and this ball looks like it's right on the outside corner, and Dale Ford calls it. And it was one of those pitches that Derek Jeter knew he couldn't reach this ball, and was hoping that by heading off to first base he convinced Dale Ford it was not a strike.
Here's Paul O'Neill. First pitch rounds to McLemore, and he makes the play. Well, Helling has retired 11 in a row. Make it 12 for that matter. He has settled down, but his Rangers trail the Yankees 2-0.
Need a faster truck?
Hey, this is yesterday's paper.
Now you have a chance to win a real Ron Hornaday NASCAR racing truck, a 1-year lease on a '99 Chevy pickup, or a tool set during Napa Auto Parts Trucking and Touring Sweepstakes and Sale. Come by today.
Tomorrow's paper.
Evercraft Tools, now 25% off.
Yankees take a 2-0 lead as we move to the top of the 7th. Meanwhile, FX Baseball's Saturday night continues this week. Dingers, taters, going yard, whatever one might call them. Mark McGwire has a bunch. Will Big Mac have enough left down the stretch to break Roger Maris's record? Find out Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, as the Bucks battle the Cards, only on FX. You know, it's interesting, Jeff, talking about Mark McGwire. And you started to see it during the home run hitting contest at the All-Star game. If you notice, they were, for some reason, that pitcher throwing was pitching him away. And now they're not giving him good pitches to hit. They're not coming inside, and he's taking some swings on chasing pitches that he normally doesn't do.
I think you're right. He gets anxious. They're not pitching to him. He's trying to help his club. It's not just home runs.
No.
Because he's so team-oriented. I think what's happened, you know, of course, I could never experience anything like that, but I think taking batting practice and having half the stadium full just to watch him take batting practice is taking its toll on him also.
Here's Will Clark to start the 6th. Looks at a curveball for a strike. And right now Roger Maris is ahead of Mark McGwire for the first time this year. McGwire 1 behind Roger Maris's home run pace. Big swing and a slow roller to first. Martinez will make the play himself. And Will Clark is retired for out number 1. This is the start of a 4-game series. And a series one might say more important to the Rangers because of their half-game lead in the West than the Yankees. But the Yankees are on a roll, and they would like to continue the roll. And again, we said we don't know what will happen in postseason. In a short series, anything could happen. But the Yankees want to win as many as they can, and 116 is the most anyone has ever won in baseball.
Yeah, you want to keep going. You play the old cliche of 1 game at a time. That's all you can think about.
Sidearm delivery to Pudge Rodriguez. 1-0. That was the 100th pitch thrown by Orlando Hernandez. 11 strikeouts, 4 walks, and only 1 hit. And a masterful pitching performance. There's a strike, 1-1.
You know, you were talking about the Rangers, too, this being so important for them. They are in the middle of an unbelievable stretch. They play the 4 here. They go play 2 in Boston, and then they go back home to play the Indians and the Yankees again. I mean, you're playing the best teams in baseball.
It is a 17-game string against the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Indians solely.
Yes.
So this is the meat of their season right here.
I should correct myself. I should say in the American League, because you got a couple super teams over in the other league too, and maybe they have 3 now with the Astros having Randy Johnson.
I would think you have to put him in there. 1-2 pitch, and it's chopped to the right side, and Knobloch throws out Rodriguez, but you notice how tentative Rodriguez was on that swing. Well, August 16th on Fox Sports Net, it's Formula One racing. The race for the points title heats up as the season winds down. The Schumacher-Hakkinen battle rolls into Budapest. The Hungarian Grand Prix, Sunday, August 16th on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings. One ball, no strikes. The count to Todd Zeile with 2 outs and nobody on base here in the 7th inning. One and one, swung on and missed. Hernandez has retired the side in order 3 times tonight, and he's got 2 outs here in the 7th with none on.
You know, if I'm Joe Torre and Mel Stottlemyre sitting in the Yankee dugout, yeah, I'd like to see strikeouts, but I'd rather see easy innings. You know, 1 or 2 or 3 pitch batters with a ground ball. That would be easier on El Duque, and then they don't even have to go to the bullpen if he continues to throw that way. Strikeouts start to add up number of pitches, and they don't want to load too many pitches on him.
2 balls and a strike to Todd Zeile, who has walked and was called out on strikes tonight. Only 1 hit tonight for the Rangers. And a line drive, and the 2nd hit of the ball game. Sharply hit, and it gets by Bertie Williams. Zeile is on his way to second base, and he'll hold up there with a double. So a pair of doubles tonight, amounting for the Texas offense. And the tying run will come to the plate with 2 away. Mike Sims, who has struck out twice.
You know, looking at El Duque pitch with he and Posada, they are trying to change their whole approach a little bit. This ball was low and in. With his short stroke that Zeile has, he can get from where he holds the bat down to the ball low and inside. It's the ball out over that they're all waving at. Now you got Mike Sims, who struck out the last time on a fastball that locked him up on the outside part of the plate. This seems to be the time where Hernandez seems to bear down. He gets a right-handed hitter up with runners on base, and then he starts to go to that real nasty low arm angle and throw a lot of breaking stuff.
Mike Sims was 3 for 4 last night against the Indians, his 3rd 3-hit game of his career. He's just looking for one right now. And the first pitch misses outside. That is the kind of a pitch that all of the Ranger right-handers chased in the early innings.
Absolutely, and that's what happens now. The more they see a pitcher as the game goes on, they can make some adjustments. They, as you say, they swung at that ball. Every one of the right-handed hitters swung at that ball early in the game.
Lead at second by Zeile with 2 outs. The Yankees trying to protect a 2-0 lead here in the 7th. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Now the Texas Rangers have been proficient with runners in scoring position, leading the American League with a .307 average. Yankees not far behind.
Now Johnny Oates' team, Johnny teaches them to play the inside game as well, just the way that Joe Torre's Yankees do. There's no, I guess it's no magic of why these 2 teams are good teams. It's because they don't beat themselves and they play the inside game well. Now there's something that you don't see normally in a game like this. You see the pitcher faking to second base. Jeter faked the runner back. Now they're not necessarily looking to pick the guy off, but you get Zeile a little closer to second base in case there's a little base hit to left field, say, and it might throw him out, cause him to be thrown out at the plate.
Especially with 2 outs. This time Sims checks his swing, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. This is an important juncture of this game because the Yankees, with a 2-run lead, don't want to see it get down to a 1-run affair at this point. Sims does have 12 homers, so he's got some power as well. But there's a lot of territory out in left and left center here at Yankee Stadium. Finally, the waiting game continues and time is called.
You know, it's interesting when you see a big right-handed power hitter. Normally they like the ball up in the strike zone. And if you watch Del Duque pitch tonight, he does not get the ball above the waist at all unless he wants to. He normally stays down below mid-thigh, down below the knees.
Like that. That was low, and it's 3-1 now to Sims. The on-deck hitter is Royce Clayton.
Well, if I were catching in a situation like this, I look up, I see there's an open base at first base, even though the hitter would be the tying run. I still don't give him a chance because he's a big, strong guy. I don't give him a chance to hit anything hard here. I'd go to the breaking stuff low and away, see if he just guesses fastball and misses the breaking ball.
And if you walk him, you got the number 9 hitter up, who's a singles hitter. He challenged Sims that time, and Sims missed, so the count 3-2 with 2 outs.
Boy, did he ever. He challenged him up in the strike zone, just what we were talking about he hasn't done much of.
And now the 3-ball and 2-strike count with 2 outs. Zeal the runner at second in a 2-0 game. And he slices it foul into the upper deck. And now Posada wants to go to the mound and converse with Hernandez.
And one of the reasons he's going to the mound, I guarantee you right here, both those pitches were in the middle of the plate. Posada set up outside. And even though he was able to throw the ball by Sims on the pitch before the last one, of course, he fouled off. He threw the other one by him. They were too much in the middle of the plate. Posada doesn't want him to go there again.
And he's out of there. Fastball on the outside corner, and that is strikeout number 12. And the Rangers leave a runner at second. And as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning with the score, the Yankees 2, the Rangers nothing. Let's take a look at what's coming your way tonight on Fox Sports News following our game. For that, we take you to the Fox Network Center. And welcome back to Fox Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net. New York at night, the Yankees Stadium, and a great crowd on hand tonight as the city has gotten the Yankee fever. It took them a while to get it, Jeff, but they have it now, and they are all witnessing what is looking like a historic season, never seen before, and according to Don Zimmer, maybe never seen again. He says you'll never see this again, especially with a team that does not have a murderer's row kind of lineup.
They are so well balanced, it's amazing. We've seen the great pitching tonight. They have an outstanding bullpen. They can run. We mentioned that they have 8 guys in double figures in home runs. They just do everything well. They're a good defensive ball club, and they know how to win. They really believe they can win, too.
And every game, there's another player who becomes the hero. Here's Bernie Williams, strike 1 from Rick Helling. Williams 1 for 2 with a single. Helling has settled down nicely after giving up a run in the first inning on Martinez's single and a sacrifice fly in the third. He has retired 12 in a row. But the Rangers have not been able to muster any kind of an attack against Orlando Hernandez. Helling 15-6 on the year, one of the big winners in the American League. 1 ball, 1 strike to Williams.
Well, you can see why Rick Helling has won 15 games. He has harnessed the very, very fine potential that he has. He's got a good live arm. He's got a good fastball, good downer breaking ball, and a changeup. And he's been able to locate. Now you see why he's won 15 games this year.
Ground ball up the middle, and Clayton. And that was not an easy play for Clayton because it was a kind of a halfway bounce for him. And he retires Williams for out number 1 here in the 7th inning.
Now, when you think about what Doug Melvin for Texas went out and did for this ball club, about 2 weeks before the deadline in July, he got Loaiza, the pitcher from the Pirates. Then he goes out and he gets Todd Stottlemyre, who's a number 1 type player, type pitcher, I should say, at the front end of the rotation. And then Zeal and Royce Clayton. Of course, Royce Clayton came over with Todd Stottlemyre, but he's revamped the left side of the infield. Got more potential power and hitting from that side of the infield, and more range, and 2 good starting pitchers.
Well, Melvin has done what he could, and it's important for the left side of that defense. And Zeal and Clayton should give them good gloves. They haven't come around on the offensive side, but that's not what they were acquired for. Pitches inside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Tino Martinez. RBI single in the first inning, 93 runs batted in. And Martinez now only 7 runs batted in shy of becoming the first Yankee to drive in 100 or more runs in 3 straight years, since Don Mattingly did it 4 straight times in the mid-'80s.
You know, mentioning Mattingly's name, I think probably the toughest job on this Yankee ball club was Tino Martinez coming into Yankee Stadium, replacing a very popular and very good player, getting off to a slow start and staying with it, and then he's just been outstanding for them. And I think it shows a lot about the characters, man. Very quiet guy.
Tough shoes to fill for sure, as he takes up high 3-2.
And you know, the New York fans are a very discerning fan, and they love Don Mattingly. He was called Donnie Baseball for a lot of reasons. He came to play the game the way it's to be played. But Tino Martinez has done a fantastic job replacing Don here.
Foul ball out of play, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dick Stockton and Jeff Torborg with you at Yankee Stadium, hoping you're enjoying this pitcher's duel tonight between Rick Helling and Orlando Hernandez, before a crowd estimated at 50,000. The Yankees 58 games over 500, and Martinez strikes out. That is the 6th strikeout for Helling, and there are 2 gone here in the 7th inning. And very quietly, Rick Helling has retired 14 straight Yankees.
Yeah, he has done a terrific job. You hear the crowd hooting it, turning it up a little, because into the batter's box is Darryl Strawberry. But Rick Helling has done everything that Johnny Oates can ask a pitcher to do, especially against this great offensive team of the Yankees.
Here's Strawberry, and he takes in tight, ball 1. Strawberry has been retired twice.
Well, the fans booed a little bit because the ball was up and in. Certainly Helling is not going to knock down Darryl Strawberry in a game like this. No reason to. He was just trying to set up the outside part of the plate. Now he's trying to go away from him.
That's on the corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two outs, nobody on base. Fastball just missed inside. The Yankee offense potent this year, averaging 6 runs and 10 hits. Tonight a different story, but the Rangers have 0 on the board in the run column. That's the story overall.
Well, when you think about both these clubs so good offensively, and then you look up on the board and only see 5 hits between them, you're saying, hey, that's pretty good pitching and also good defense. Mark McLemore has made 2 sensational plays behind Helling.
And Tim Raines in the first inning made a fine catch. That pitch is down low, ball 4, and a walk. That is only the 2nd base on balls given up by Helling. A 2-out walk to Darryl Strawberry. So Tim Raines will come to the plate. He was caught looking and was out on a swinging bunt. Helling having an outstanding game. Dick Bosman, the pitching coach, watching him carefully here as he has thrown over 100 pitches in the game. But those are solid numbers.
They really are. And this is a nice night to pitch too. As you mentioned earlier, it's cool. It's not a real hot night. And for the Texas ball club coming out of Texas, where it's been in triple digits most of the last 5 or 6 weeks, this has got to feel great. So that Helling's going to feel strong, even over just a little over 100 pitches, I would think.
Even feels great to some of the commentators who came out of Florida with the temperatures in the 90s too, Jeff.
I know what you mean.
2 outs, and Raines the batter with the Strawberry at first. The Yankees leading 2-0, trying to stretch this latest winning streak to 8 games. And a shot foul down the right field line, and Ed Hickox had to get away from that one.
You know, when I look at this Yankee ball club, we talked about the Yankees solid all the way through their ball club. Every aspect of the game. One of the things we didn't talk about is the bench. The bench is extremely solid. When you think about Tim Raines coming off the bench, he's a switch hitter. He's able to run. He can switch hit. Then you've got a center fielder who can play left field, and Chad Curtis. You've got a terrific bench on this Yankee ball club, and that's what winning clubs can do. It costs higher payroll, but they have a strong bench.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's up high. And remember, early in the season, you know, when you think it's all ice cream and cake for Joe Torre, he had to make a decision, and for some reason early in the year he was able to mollify Tim Raines and Darryl Strawberry early in the season before the Yankees got on the big roll to keep them happy. One is a DH, one is an outfielder, one not playing in a given day. That wasn't an easy thing for a manager to do. You know that.
Well, you're not kidding, especially guys that are originally stars in this game.
2-1.
But one of the things that he was able to do as well, we talked about chemistry before. A lot of people poo-poo chemistry. They say, oh, it doesn't mean anything. When you don't have it is when you realize how important it is. But also what they were able to do was plug people in when a key person went down. First Jeter went down. I thought Jeter was the only guy that they probably couldn't do without for a long time. They played very well when he went down for a while. Then Bernie Williams went down in center field. Chad Curtis did a good job. Soho had filled in at shortstop originally and started hitting the ball right away. So it's a very deep Yankee ball club. But you know, the good teams, the teams that have great years, also avoid the big injuries, the long-term injuries. And they were a little afraid that David Cone was in that stage as well, and here he is leading baseball with wins.
Yeah, they've had great starting pitching, but you know, some of the names you're mentioning, if they were on other clubs, they wouldn't be that far from the waiver wire. We're not talking about brilliant players here. The Yankees have done it with talent that is frankly not amongst the best. I'm not talking about their meat and potatoes guys. I'm talking about some of the players you're mentioning now. So their bench people have done it, and that's what the chemistry is all about. That pitch is down low, ball 4, and Raines walks. That is the third walk. And Dick Bosman is going to come out. Chad Curtis is going to run for Darryl Strawberry.
You know, I think what they did, I think they put 2 pinch runners in. I think right. Homer Bush went into second base.
Raines went out too, right?
Yeah.
Bush for Strawberry.
How about that? Here we're just talking about the bench.
Homer Bush, who the Yankees ran out of options and decided that they were going to keep him on their roster.
And we were talking about Chad Curtis coming off the bench originally when the center fielder was down, but that was Bernie Williams. He can go play left field. You've got something going for you. If you can take a natural center fielder and put him in left field, which is what Joe Torre can do for the defense here for the Yankees. And left field at Yankee Stadium is one of the toughest left fields in baseball to play. So you put Chad Curtis in who can run. Homer Bush is in who can run now. You've got 2 sets of fresh legs, and you also have Curtis, a good defensive player in the game.
So here is Posada with 2 on and 2 outs. Posada has struck out, called out looking, and grounded out his last time up. Helling trying to pitch out of a jam. He had retired 14 in a row before walking Strawberry and Raines. Gunderson warming up for the Texas Rangers.
And also a big right-hander, Tim Crabtree, a left and right-hander going at this point.
Pinch runners at first and second with 2 outs. And the strike, no balls and 2 strikes. Posada, 338 with runners in scoring position. And a foul ball. Still no balls and 2 strikes. There's the bullpen. You mentioned Crabtree, the right-hander, Gunderson, the left-hander. Homer Bush At second, Chad Curtis at first. Two pinch runners. So we'll have a new left fielder in the 8th inning. Here is the 0-2 pitch, and just getting a piece of it is Posada to stay alive. Well, the Yankees have speed on the base paths. They're looking for more insurance here, leading 2-0 here in the last of the 7th inning. Bush at second, Curtis at first, and he's out of there. Strike 3. Posada goes down on strikes for the second time tonight, and that is the 7th strikeout of the game for Helling. Yankees leave 2, and we go to the 8th inning with New York leading Texas 2-0. Chad Curtis is going in to play left field, replacing Tim Raines. He went in as a pinch runner as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Want to remind you that next week on Baseball Thursday, are the Yankees the greatest team of all time? The Bombers' historic season rolls on in Minnesota, or the Angels are charging toward what they hope will be a playoff berth, and it would have to be a division title. Home stretch kicks off against the Tigers. Check the local listings for the game in your area. There's the triumvirate of Don Zimmer, Joe Torre, and Mel Stottlemyre. Of course, Don Zimmer, as you know, played on many championship teams and pennant-winning teams with the Dodgers. In 1955, which was the first Brooklyn Dodger championship and only one that they won there, they won 10 in a row, lost, and I think they were something like 20-1 at one point, but they never got close to 58 games over 500 mark. And Don Zimmer frankly says, I can't explain it. I am totally befuddled by what's going on. This team has delivered, and a hit one way or another would have meant defeats in many games, but they didn't get it. We got the hits, and we've just continued to win games.
You know, one of the things, if you don't beat yourself, you've got a chance.
First pitch to Clayton is over for a strike.
How about that approach? That was a sidearm breaking ball, and Clayton started down toward the third base coach, Jerry Narron, before that ball came in.
There's that high kick, and then the hiding of the ball, as you pointed out before, by El Duque. 1-1 to Clayton, who is 0 for 2 tonight, bounced into a double play. Hernandez has struck out 12. He has allowed only 2 hits, both doubles. The Rangers have not been able to get a man to third. There's a sweeping pitch for a strike, 1-2.
Is that amazing? When you think about where this man has come from. Last October, his half-brother, Livan Hernandez, was the MVP of the World Series. He's hearing the results in Cuba, and now he's pitching at Yankee Stadium. And can you believe he's the number 5 starter for the Yankees?
He serves it up to shallow right field, but there is Hernandez, or making the catch, or Martinez, for out number 1 here in the 8th inning. Tino Martinez. And even when the Rangers have got their bats on the ball, they have been tentative at best.
Yeah, they haven't been able to stay on the ball at all. Their rear end comes out. Whenever you throw something side wheeling like that, it's tough to stay at home plate if you're a right-handed hitter. And of course, we mentioned that one of the hitters that got the double was Mark McLemore hitting left-handed, I should say, and the other by Todd Zeile was a ball that was inside. But other than that, he's barely made a mistake.
Here's Tom Goodwin, the leadoff hitter, takes a breaking ball inside, 1-0. Goodwin 0 for 3 tonight. 2 hits. McLemore's double in the 4th with 1 out, and Zeile's 2-out double in the 7th inning. A sharp 1-hopper to Knobloch. He handles it for out number 2. So there are 2 away here in the 8th inning. Well, the Orioles and Indians going at it tonight. Tied 4-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Eric Davis 0 for 2 tonight. Double down the third base line to extend his hitting streak to 28, and that tied the Major League high with Garrett Anderson. 4-4 Orioles and Indians in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mark McLemore, who has been on base twice tonight with a double and a walk, looks at a curve on the outside corner, strike 1.
We're talking about what a story El Duque is. Eric Davis is another beautiful story,
Yes.
Fighting cancer and coming back from a bad neck, a bad back.
Tell you what, this has been a great year for heartwarming personal stories.
Yes.
For home run slugging. Well, everyone loves home runs in the chase for Roger Maris's mark, and for a great team exploit, the Yankees, and what they're doing. All right, now the 53,835, and that is the attendance tonight here at Yankee Stadium, on its feet looking for another strikeout. Here's the 0-2 pitch to McLemore, and just a bit high.
You got over 50,000 people out here umpiring at this point.
One ball and 2 strikes to McLemore. Watch that concentration. El Duque's pitch, and he missed 2-2.
Well, he's missed with a couple breaking balls, but this is what George Steinbrenner, owner of the Yankees, has talked about. The fans should be out here in droves, and they are now watching this super team play.
He's out of there on the outside corner. Strikeout number 13 as McLemore throws his helmet. A 1-2-3 inning for El Duque, looking for his 8th win and easily his most impressive pitching performance of the year. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Yankees leading the Rangers 2-0.
NBA fans, don't miss this special offer. Order 1998.
Yankees leading 2-0. Coming up in the bottom of the 8th, and this Sunday it's a Fox NFL special when Brett Favre and the NFC champion Packers take on the Oakland Raiders in a preseason matchup. Don't miss John Madden, Pat Summerall, and Matt Millen, Terry, Howie, JB, and new addition Chris Collinsworth as they bring you all the action. It all starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Scott Brocious leading off here in the bottom of the 8th inning, takes ball 1 from Rick Helling. The Rangers leading 2-0. El Duque with a masterful pitching performance, and Rick Helling not that far behind as he comes inside and falls behind Brocious. 2-0. Brocious with a single in 2 trips scored one of the 2 Yankee runs. And a fly ball hit deep to left field. Greer's back, has room, and he makes the catch. That's one of the longer balls hit tonight at Yankee Stadium, but a long out for Brocious.
Well, you mentioned earlier too about no fly balls. There weren't very many fly balls out there, and that is a credit to Rick Helling, who is known as a fly ball pitcher, and he has pitched down beautifully. And remember the streak that we talked about early in the game, about 14 consecutive games with home runs. At first I thought that was going the way it left the bat, but did not.
Chuck Knobloch, who is 0 for 3 tonight, average down to 248, takes strike 1 down the middle. The paid attendance tonight of 53,835 is the 4th largest crowd at Yankee Stadium this season. They had 47,000 yesterday, so the crowds are coming to the Bronx. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and a fly ball to left field. Coming on in is Greer. He got a good jump, and he makes the catch for out number 2. It's fight time on Fox. Every jab, every hook, every body blow, and every uppercut. The sweet science practiced by today's best fighters. Fight time on Fox tomorrow at 8 on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listing. 2 down, and Derek Jeter, the batter, he is 0 for 2. Reached on an error and drove in a run on a sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning. The Yankees getting their runs on a Martinez single in the 1st and Jeter sac fly in the 3rd. Fouls it off. Strike 1. Hernandez has gotten a lot of run support this year in his 7-3 record coming in. He had 14 runs scored by the Yankees in each of his last 2 starts. 13 runs against Detroit, 10 with Toronto, and 11 with Montreal. 5 of his 7 wins, the Yankees scored at least 10 runs. Tonight, it's been a different story. Ball strike 2 to Jeter.
I watched him pitch a game earlier in the year against the Mets where they got to him early in the game. You know he never gave in. You watch the face. When you're in a uniform for 30-some years, you learn to watch body language and facial expressions. He never showed that he was behind, and he held his club in the game, and sure enough, they got back in it. You know, when you take a look at an inexperienced guy, a lot of times you'll see either giving in, frustration, or a little fear. You don't see it in this guy at all.
Here's the 1-2, and Jeter is out on strikes. That is the 8th strikeout of the game for Helling. Well, he's done his part. Now it's up to the Texas bats with one last chance, trailing the Yankees 2-0 coming to the 9th. Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by MCI. One team, one company, one local to global connection. And welcome back to Yankee Stadium, and El Duque comes out to try to wrap it up. 2-0 going into the top of the 9th inning, and our Fox Sports News items. The Mike Tyson controversy, looking to get a license in New Jersey. Following the game, you'll get all of that. The report on the game between the Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres. And Steve Sachs' Foxco, all coming up after the game. So the last chance for the Texas Rangers, it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Rusty Greer, Juan Gonzalez, and Will Clark against Orlando Hernandez. 13 strikeouts, the most ever by a Yankee rookie. Mike Jerzenbeck and Mariano Rivera warming up in the bullpen. Greer 0 for 2 with a walk, was robbed in the first inning on a great diving catch by Tim Raines. The count 1-1. Rangers looking to get a runner on base to start something. That fastball on the inside corner, 1-2.
You know, a factor to be considered in the 9th inning now. The first 2 of the 3 hitters are left-handed, and the left-handers are the guys that give El Duque some problems. So Joe Torre probably going 1 hitter at a time here.
Foul ball into the lower stand. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So as a manager, sometimes you say, okay, normally you would bring your closer in this situation, Mariano Rivera, but El Duque's pitching so well, I'll give him a chance 1 hitter at a time. I won't give him a chance to lose this game.
Breaking ball grounded to Martinez, who makes the play unassisted for out number 1. Greer tried to pull a breaking pitch, and he's retired for out number 1, and that'll bring up a very frustrated Juan Gonzalez, who's returned to action tonight, coming in with 119 runs batted in. Has resulted in 3 strikeouts by the Rangers star.
This is the way you'd like to see him hit, with nobody on base. Remember the playoffs in 1996, he was hitting the ball all over this place. Could not hold, this ballpark couldn't hold him. But tonight he has not seen the ball well against El Duque. He just has had terrible swings. 1 good swing that he fouled the ball off.
Takes a fastball for a strike. The executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. The coordinating producer for Baseball Thursday is Larry Myers. Tonight's game was produced by Tom Hewitt and directed by Jeff Mitchell. And the vice president of field operations is Andrea Jenkins. Thanks to all our technical and production crew for a job well done. Gonzalez fouls it off to the right, and the count 0-2. Already El Duque has the most strikeouts by a Yankee rookie pitcher, 13. The previous record was established by Stan Bonson in 1968, but now El Duque is looking for number 14. Crowd getting a good workout tonight, Jeff, on their feet so many times. You know, it's neat to see this. The life is in these people here back in the Bronx. You talk about the new golden age. Well, this is the capital for a lot of years of the center of baseball, and we're going to see probably a big side wheel and breaking ball right here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was so far outside that Gonzalez wasn't even going to think about it. Well, that was halfway to New Jersey, but you want to keep it away from his power, and they were making sure they would there. But this is wonderful to see this kind of turnout in New York now, and they starting to realize how good this. Well, I'm not so sure they know how good this team is. They are so good, no one knows how good they are. And pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Yankees have had some heartbreaking playoff losses in recent years to Seattle and Cleveland. So they know that they have a lot more road to hoe before they breathe easy, despite their incredible record this year. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and he checks the swing. It breaks just low and away, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the crowd wanted that pitch. That was a good call by Dale Ford. That ball was below the strike zone, but awful tough pitch to lay off of, especially when you've struck out 3 times on balls very similar to that this evening.
3-2, 1 out, bases empty. Ball 4, and Gonzalez draws the walk, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. And Joe Torre is out of the dugout, and that will be all for El Duque. And Joe Torre not going to take any chances here. Looking to the bullpen. And that's it. Listen to the ovation that El Duque is going to get when he comes off the mound. He struck out 13. He has allowed only 2 hits. But Joe Torre wants to wrap up the game.
Here comes Rivera bouncing out of that bullpen, but Joe Torre went 1 hitter at a time. Listen to this crowd. They love this guy.
So Orlando Hernandez, in a sterling effort tonight for the New York Yankees, leaves the game after pitching 8 1/3 innings. He walked Gonzalez, and he's removed from Mariano Rivera. Here he is tipping his cap after 13 strikeouts. 2-0 the score, but the tying run coming to the plate. 13 strikeouts, a Yankee rookie record. And Will Clark coming up to face Mariano Rivera, who has 30 saves on the season. Clark struck out, walked, and grounded out to Martinez at first base. But that was against El Duque, now facing Rivera.
And you're going to see a different type pitcher. This guy is a high fastball pitcher up in the strike zone.
Ball 1 inside. He's converted his last 20 consecutive save opportunities.
You know, when you talk about, we were trying to talk about the whole game about what El Duque did, where he releases the ball from all angles. Rivera comes out of a high position with his arm all the time with a rising fastball.
Grounded foul. Let's take a closer look at what we can expect from Rivera.
Well, he's got a fastball. He gets it up there in the high 90s. I mean, he really throws it hard. He's got a hard slider if he needs it, a split finger. His delivery is very, very smooth, and that allows the ball to look even faster than it is coming to the plate. But he does pitch up in the strike zone.
And that was a fastball right down the middle. Fly ball. Curtis going over, but can't reach it. It's out of play.
It's amazing. He's not very big. He's real lean. He's only 6'2", about 170 pounds. But his delivery is so smooth that when he delivers the ball flies out of his hand. He can lull a hitter to sleep with his delivery. So now when the ball gets to the hitter, it's almost like right at the end it has a little extra giddy up, right as it gets in the hitting zone.
Gonzalez with the lead at first. 2-0 Yankees, and a fly ball to left field. Curtis camping under it, and Curtis makes the catch for out number 2. And the Texas Rangers are down to their last out, but they've got a tough customer at the plate in Pudge Rodriguez. But Rivera got a dangerous hitter in Clark, a left-handed hitter, and now facing Rodriguez, who is 0 for 3 tonight, striking out twice against Hernandez.
Now, we were talking about how Rivera has a good live arm. He doesn't look like he's really popping the ball right now. Those balls were more down in the strike zone, but Pudge Rodriguez is a good high ball hitter.
And the ground ball to shortstop. This could be it. Jeter on the first base, and the ball game is over. And the New York Yankees keep it rolling. They have won their 8th in a row, and now have gone 59 games over 500 at an incredible record of 88-29. And tonight you can tip your hat to El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, who struck out 13, allowing only 2 hits in a 2-0 Yankee win. And our MCI plays of the game, it's El Duque, Jeff.
It sure is. 13 times it's El Duque. You can watch him throw with a breaking ball, a downer breaking ball from all angles, a sidearm fastball. He just was dominating tonight. It didn't matter where he threw the ball. He threw it by him. He threw it around him. He fooled him. 13 times our play of the game.
What a masterful performance.
You mentioned it earlier about a new Yankee strikeout record for a rookie pitcher, and he's gotten it with 13 tonight, breaking Stan Bonson's record. Remember, you're talking about an organization with great tradition. And that's really doing something.
Got Gonzalez 3 times. He got just about everybody. And 8-3, the record for El Duque. And that was number 13. Helling pitched well in defeat, losing 15-7. Rivera, his 31st save as the Yankees now have won 8 in a row and are 59 games over 500. So that's it from Yankee Stadium in New York. Tune in Saturday for Fox Saturday Baseball when the Texas Rangers take on the Yankees as this series continues, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Then move over to FX Baseball Saturday night. The Pirates take on the Cardinals at 8 o'clock Eastern on FX. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Baseball Thursday continues next week here on Fox Sports when you'll see the Yankees against the Twins or the Tigers take on the Angels. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Fox Sports News Prime Time is next in many areas. So for Jeff Torborg, I'm Dick Stockton. Once again, the final score, the Yankees 2, the Rangers nothing. You've been watching Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net. Another Yankee win. So long, everybody.